To another segment of e-waste management, and the question we are continuing to ask: where do you take your electronics once you are done with them, or they are spoiled, or they have reached their end of life? Ask yourself that question. But today we are going to look at what you can do so that we are able to manage the e-waste very well and it's not disastrous to us humans and to the environment. Karibu sana George Kimani.
Thank you so much. My name is George Kimani. I am the chairman of E-Waste Initiative Kenya.
Okay.
E-Waste Initiative Kenya is an NGO specifically dealing with electronic waste in the informal sector. When we started, there were challenges in e-waste management, and we realized that the challenges need an approach that can be sustainable and support circular economy.
Okay.
So we decided to create awareness among e-waste handlers in the informal sector. If you look at this market, it has a lot of e-waste handlers, what we call informal e-waste handlers. And so when we started by training them in the best practices in handling electronic waste. Why? Because electronic waste, when you don't need it, it becomes hazardous. This is your phone, your TV, your radio, and all the electronics that you have in your house. When you no longer need them, that's when you dispose them and you discard them.
George, maybe you can hold it there. Watu wengi kwa hii nchi yetu hatuelewi how hazardous e-waste is.
Okay. E-waste. First of all, e-waste is discarded electronics, as I told you. These are electronics that you don't need. So when you don't need them, you throw them to a dustbin.
Yeah.
Some of these electronic waste have batteries, and from long, you know batteries are hazardous, and especially when disposed in an improper manner. Also, if you look at the casings of all the electronics, these are batteries.
An example of a battery.
These are laptop batteries. When you dispose this to the environment, it is very dangerous to the environment. Why? Because it contains hazardous materials, which if they reach to the soil or to the waterways, they will affect public health and also the environment.
Yeah, because they go back to the consumption of humans.
Yeah. When they reach into the soil, and then you go and fetch the same water that contains those small particles, which are hazardous. Then you swallow them.
Back to our human body.
That's why you find there's a lot of cases of cancer. This is one of the causes. Poor e-waste management is one of the causes of cancers and other chronic diseases.
Thank you. Another thing you mentioned is about the informal sector. Unaweza tuambia informal sector ni nini? Kuna mtu anakaa anashinda formal, informal. What is the difference na ni nini?
Okay, informal sector, to my understanding, these are people who are not very organized, but they are working. This is where they are getting their living.
Daily bread.
So in the informal sector, and especially when it comes to e-waste management, if you look at all the e-waste generated in our country, about 75% of e-waste is being handled in the informal sector. And unfortunately, most of the people that are handling e-waste don't have the required knowledge to handle the e-waste in a sustainable manner or a responsible manner that will not affect our environment and public health.
Okay. Then for how long have you been doing this now?
I've done it for more than 10 years, and I can see it has a lot of potential.
Hii potential unasema iko kwa e-waste. What is this potential?
Okay. E-waste generates a lot of income. What you think is waste, to us is a resource. And this is where we are getting our livelihood, and it employs a lot of people in the informal sector.
Okay, what do you have to say, especially to the many people in Kenya where employment is an issue, to the many people who are going through in the streets and all that, and we have all this e-waste that is being generated? What do you have to tell them?
First of all, we have one advantage that most people run it. They got to what we call form for secondary school. And these are people that can easily tap into electronic waste management and a decent living. So instead of looking for employment somewhere, it's good to tap into e-waste management, which has a lot of potential in employment. In fact, it is creating a lot of employment to the youth. And that's why we've started an innovative hub where we are teaching the youth on how to manage e-waste in a responsible manner.
Okay. You can, unaweza tuambia hapa tuko ni duka lako na tunaona kuna a lot of laptops. How do you get them from the source to here? How is the chain?
Okay. Now, in my shop here, this is my store located in Gara. Gara is adjacent to the town. So the city generates a lot of e-waste, and this is one of the sources.
Okay.
We go to organizations, we go to stores, we go to shops, and this is where we collect our e-waste from. We use an infrastructure or a network of collectors. We have young men who are going door to door collecting e-waste from stores and shops. So then they bring it here. When it comes here, that's when we start recycling the waste.
Okay. Do you do the separation? Because for you, naona uko tu na laptops peke yake.
Yeah, what we do when we go for corrections, we correct like everything in a store. These include office furniture, electronics, and everything that is in the store. So when it comes to us, we do separation, we do segregation, and what we do, people specialize in different areas. So if you are specializing on computers, you take computers. Somebody else is doing TVs, you take TVs. Somebody else is doing office furniture, you take the office furniture. So nothing goes to waste when it comes to us.
Okay, and you are all based here?
Yeah, all of us are based here.
Another thing I would like to understand, policy environment iko aje? The policy environment, especially government as a stakeholder in this, because of course you are here and you are being supported by the government. But what is the policy environment around e-waste management in Kenya?
What I think in Kenya, we are a bit behind in policy.
Okay.
I think last year we developed an e-waste policy with the stakeholders, the government being one of them, and it's not yet in place. We are hoping very soon it will be in place, and we are looking forward for that because we really need a comprehensive policy for e-waste management. Considering the hazardous part of e-waste, then we should have a policy in place that takes good care of e-waste management in the country.
What do you think will happen in the future if we don't have a policy in place?
I think we are already having negative effects of e-waste in the country. And I would say maybe most of the diseases originate from e-waste, like cancer. Because as I've said, we have a lot of metals that if they reach into the soils and waterways, they can cause severe public health. They can be hazardous to your health, they can be hazardous to your environment. So now by doing the policy, you are extending the problem.
True. And kuna Kiswahili saying inasema usipojenga ufa, usipoziba